Real talk. You're gonna find this very helpful. So if you really want to accomplish things in life, if you really want to take it to the next level, I got a roadmap that you can follow, a game plan that will guarantee you success in life. And I'm not going to try to sell you nothing. I'm not going to try to get you to sign up for anything. I'm going to give it to you all here for free. Now, I guarantee you'll be successful if you follow this. However, I also guarantee that most of you motherfuckers are too soft to follow it. You're punks, weaklings, dorks, losers, and you're probably going to die that way. If you have kids, if you convince some woman to mate with you, then those kids are going to end up being losers too. And so if you can't follow these instructions, don't worry about it, man. Listen, we still need bus drivers. Somebody's gonna have to mop the floors, bring me my Uber Eats and shit, and maybe you can contribute to society in that way. But those of you who are tough enough to follow the rules that I'm about to lay down, I promise you'll be successful in record time. So I call this, oh fuck, hold on, let me get a different pen. I want the fucking pencil. I call this where's the one I want? Okay, this is called the Champion Trifecta. My handwriting is bad, don't worry about it, all right? You just pay attention. These are the steps you need to really be successful, to really ball in any endeavor. You're gonna wanna take notes. I know you're thinking, damn, Brandon, you're such a good artist. I know. Man, the center of this is everything you want, man. The first step is you're gonna have to have goals. That's not novel information, but I'm going to break this down and make a lot more sense in a minute. You need goals. You also need discipline to deploy against those goals. And then here's something that people don't talk about much. You need energy. And we're going to talk about what that means. I'm going to break down this in all its steps. All right. So first, when we talk about goals, everyone knows you need goals, but people don't do it right. So the very first part of goals is you need a detailed plan. A detailed plan. So most people, when they say they have goals, they say some shit like, oh yeah, I want to accomplish this, or I want this to happen, right? It's not like laid out every step. This is very important. You got to lay out every step. I mean, if you don't know the steps, then that's your first step is to find out what the steps are. Somebody has done what you're trying to do. I'm sure there's books about it. There's courses you can buy. You got to get a detailed plan. Here's where the magic happens. You need to have deadlines for each step. Let's look into what this looks like. Say you want to start a YouTube channel, all right? So maybe it's buy camera, get video editing software, get a computer to edit on, whatever your plan is. You list those things out and then you put a deadline on each step. This is super important. You got to have a deadline for every step. And then you have to plan your time. When I say plan time, you have to really use your calendar. I recommend Google Calendar, and you go in there and mark when you're going to do the steps or when you're going to do the things. Let's go back to the YouTube page example. You got to plan your time out. There's going to be two types of things you're going to be doing, right? When you have your plan, you're going to have one-time task, and then you're going to have recurring tasks. The one-time task would be buy camera, but the recurring task would be, film videos. You're going to have mostly recurring tasks, and you're going to have some one-time tasks. And what you're going to do is you're going to take each one of those. You're going to put deadlines on the one-time task, but the recurring ones, what you're going to do is you're going to put them in your calendar when you're going to do them, right? In your Google Calendar, and you really plan it out. And this is very key. You need to be living out of your calendar. Your whole life needs to be planned in your calendar. This is critical. You really need to be using your calendar, and you'll get more time. It's almost like a cheat code in life. Once you start living out your calendar, you'll get way more done than most people. People see me and they're like, Brandon, how do you get so much done? You're always moving and shaking. That's because I plan my time, dumbass. You fucking just doing shit randomly, man. My shit is planned out. You know what I'm saying? I have my fucking bedtime in the calendar. I know exactly what I'm gonna do every day. I have my meals in the calendar, right? Because I'm trying to squeeze as much victory out of each day as I can, right? But if you don't plan that, if you don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Then you got to have discipline, all right? Now, we all know you have to have discipline. Discipline means, I'm just going to abbreviate it, but discipline means you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not. And, a lot of times we all have stuff we're supposed to do, especially when you see this calendar. When you start planning your time, you're going to look at that calendar and be like, fuck, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like talking to y'all right now, but I'm doing it, right? And that's important that you do it during that time, because here's the thing. Discipline is kind of like a muscle. The more you use it, the more you develop it. But the only time you get to work that muscle is when you don't feel like doing it. You get what I'm saying? Because if you're motivated, if you're excited to do something, then it doesn't take discipline. You're not building your discipline muscle when you're motivated. You get what I'm saying? And you're not going to be motivated all the time. So the most important time to do something is when you don't feel like it. Because when you fight your natural inclination to be a bitch and give up, right? When you fight that inclination and you do it anyway, then it'll be easier to do it the next time. And it becomes harder for you to be a bitch. It's like right now, a lot of you guys, it's super easy for you to be a bitch because you've been being a bitch for decades, some of you. And being a bitch is habit forming, right? Once you give up on something, it becomes easier to give up again. And we say shit to ourselves like, oh, I can skip this workout. I'll eat this food this time, man. It's just one time. And within itself, in isolation, that one time is not a big deal. But the problem is being a bitch is habit forming. That's why you guys have such a difficult time being disciplined now, because you've been being easy on yourself. You've been saying, oh, I'll just do it this time, and it becomes easier to do it the next time. And it becomes harder to be disciplined when you need it because you haven't been working the muscle. So you have to do it during that time. So you should be happy when you don't feel like doing something. I want you to reframe it and think, oh, now I have an opportunity to build my discipline muscle. I hope this is making sense to you. I hope you guys are getting this. It's super important. Now, that's the easy part. What you're going to see is each one of these gets a little bit more sophisticated. Part 2 of discipline is sacrifice. So doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it is like the lowest level. It's very basic. The harder part is sacrificing. It's giving up things. Like there was my boy Jeremy, he hit me up and he was like, yo man, I got tickets to the Heat game, floor seats, come through. And I love going to the Heat game. I love floor seats. But I had some shit to do. I was like, now I'm gonna do my shit. Now I could have said, oh, it's just one time. I'll do it this one time. But being a bitch and giving up on your goals is habit forming. And I knew that the next time it would have been way more difficult. It'd be easier to give in to the next temptation, right? And as you become successful, you have to be stronger because there's gonna be more opportunities for you to indulge in success. If you fucking accidentally get successful and you haven't built any form of discipline, well, that shit takes people out, man. This is how you see people, celebrities become drug addicts and shit, right? Because they didn't build the discipline. They didn't build discipline, and the temptations were way stronger once you get some fame and some money. So if you can't handle these little temptations where you're at, there's no way you can do it when you get, some sort of success or notoriety. Imagine me, Brandon Carter, rich, famous baller. I can't like show up at the orgy. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, that's Brandon Carter. That should be on the fucking news. You know what I'm saying? I gotta protect my reputation. I gotta protect shit even more at this level. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys can do like wild shit, and no one gives a fuck. You motherfuckers can get arrested and shit and nobody cares. But it's fucking news if I do it, right? So you got to remember, once you get more successful, you got to be more disciplined. And sacrifice is a big part of it. And you're going to have more responsibility if you get successful as well. You're going to have people dependent on you. Like I got like 30 employees right now. Some of these people have families and kids and children, right? So the decisions I make, I have to think about making sure that my employees can feed their kids. On a certain level, I think about some of you guys who look up to me, who follow me. I'm like, oh shit, man, I can't let these motherfuckers down. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't be nothing to believe in if Brandon Carter fell off. These motherfuckers might give up on everything if their hero falls down. Look at your detailed plan. And then you got to think about, okay, what do I have to sacrifice? For me, to accomplish my goals, man, I got to get up at like 4 or 5 every day. I don't get to watch a lot of movies, you know what I'm saying? It's the playoffs right now, NBA playoffs. And I have a genetic predisposition for loving basketball. I don't get to watch the playoff games, right? Because I got to get to sleep, man. You got to be able to sacrifice. Now, the third part of discipline, this is what really takes it to the next level, is if you have accountability. I'm going to abbreviate it. If you have someone to keep you accountable. People perform better when someone's watching. Think about the time you didn't feel like going to the gym, but you had to meet your gym partner there. It was probably easier to show up during that time. Think about when you were a kid and you were in class. What happened when the teacher left? I don't know about y'all. When I was in like 5th grade, teacher would lead a class. Niggas start rolling dice. I don't know what your school was like, but yeah, kids start acting crazy when the teacher left. Soon as she come back though, niggas put the weed away, motherfuckers stop gambling, put the guns up. Because when people have someone keeping them accountable or watching them, they perform better. I've talked about this a lot. There's actually studies that prove this. It's actually a psychological phenomenon called the Hawthorne effect. During the Industrial Revolution, there's some scientists, they were trying to figure out why some factories were outperforming other factories. They would go to the factory and they say, hey guys, we're just going to observe what you guys are doing. Don't change nothing, but we're just going to be watching you. And what they noticed was that productivity at the factory shot up. And every time they went to a different factory and they told them they were watching them, productivity skyrocketed. And as soon as Hawthorne and his homies left, it went right back to baseline. What Hawthorne and his boys noticed was that people perform better when someone's watching them and keeping them accountable. So if you can implement some sort of accountability, even if it's just you and your homies saying, hey, I'm going to be doing this, right? Or I'm doing this. You start a group, a mastermind group, somebody who's keeping you accountable. I still have coaches. I still have people that I go to seek guidance. I was watching a documentary. It was about the guitar player from Maroon 5. I know it's weird, right? I have an eclectic taste. This guy won Grammys. You know what I'm saying? He's won Grammys, sold millions of albums, and every time he gets off tour, he goes and trains with a guitar teacher, right? A Grammy Award winning guitarist from one of the biggest bands in the world is still taking lessons and still has somebody helping him. So if you can do that, if you can implement that in your life, you're going to be able to take it to the next level. Here's the thing. Once you have goals and you have discipline, what's that going to give you? It's going to give you focus. You're going to have focus once you have goals and direction. Now, the last part is energy. This is something that people don't talk about when they talk about as it pertains to the achievement of goals. But I feel like people should speak about it more. Energy. There's 3 parts of this as well. Number 1 is health. If you're sick or sleepy or you got the flu or the cancer, you're probably not out here like crushing your goals. You're fucking sick. Or even if you're just like tired or lethargic, right? You're not going to be out here crushing your goals, right? At least not at the same rate you would be. So it's super important that you stay healthy. And you got to take your health super seriously. Like, you know, I track my sleep with an Oura ring, and, you know, I make sure I get enough sleep every night. I take an assortment of vitamins, you know what I'm saying? I get blood work and shit. I'm trying to stay as healthy as possible. It's been 6 years since I've had a cold or anything. Now it's also like my diet, I work out, all that stuff, but I don't get sick, because if I get sick, I'm not going to make as much money. A few things: make sure you get enough sleep, work out, you know, the normal shit, get your diet right. Listen, I know fitness guys, I know you all hate the ketogenic diet, you know, it's just so calories in, calories out. One of the main reasons I do keto is studies show that it increases immune system. You know, I remember during the pandemic when everybody was getting, what's it called, man? The C19. Yep. They was catching that C19. I was walking around New York like I am legend. You know what I'm saying? My girlfriend, she got that shit like 18 times. And I ain't even quarantined from her. I was eating off her plate, kissing her in the mouth. I ain't even test positive, man. Getting sick is whack. Stay healthy. But that's just your physical health. Then it's mental health. Recently, I've seen some people kind of lose it. And they're not making as much money now. You know what I'm saying? If you're sitting around depressed or crazy, you're not gonna make as much money, man. So you gotta really guard your mental health and your energy. And there's a few things you gotta do to make sure this happens. One is you gotta stay away from negative people. It's a cancer. It's law number 9 of the 48 laws of power. Stay away from the unhappy and the unlucky. They will fuck up your mental health. You ever been around somebody all depressed and sad? Stay away from me, man. And I'm not saying you don't help your friends if they need help. But if they coming at you with some, oh man, I'm so sad, everything's going wrong, I think you should shame them for that. You know, that's what I would do. And you got to make sure that they change their mindset. So, and this is you too. You might be the friend. It might be you. So I'm real careful. I don't let nobody speak like that around me. So if somebody's depressed, if they say, man, oh, I'm so sad. No. Don't say that. Say, I need to get happier. Or always speak in terms of what you want, not what's going wrong. Right. And it's not being positive. It's not being negative. For example, if I don't have as much money as I want, right? Let's say that. Instead of saying, man, I'm broke, man, I ain't got no money. Instead of saying that like a bitch, I would say, man, yo, I need to figure out a way to get some more money. It's the same thing, but one, you sound like a hoe, and the other, you sound like a G who's ready to go accomplish something. Even with little things. Instead of saying, oh, I'm so sleepy, I say, man, I need to get some more energy. It's the same thing, but one is negative and one is positive. One is like waving the white flag. The other is, no, I'm gonna beat this thing, right? So everybody who's around me gotta talk like that. I will publicly shame a friend if they start saying some shit like, oh, I'm so sad. Like, no, man, fuck it. What do you want? Let's talk like about what you want. What are you trying to accomplish? Because you sound like you giving up and you want pity, and you ain't gonna get that from me. Don't come to me for pity. Come from me when you want action, when you want a game plan. You know what I'm saying? And you always gotta be like that. And don't let anyone around you talk like that. Like, correct them immediately. I was training some of my students today. I teach them to build their online fitness business. And one of them said, yeah, man, just like I can't get any leads. I'm like, what? You said what? Can you rephrase that? Because they know I fucking hate that shit. He said, oh, I need to figure out a way to get more leads. I'm like, oh, okay, that's better. I can stand behind that, because before you was sounded like a hoe who just gave up and wanted pity. That's the main thing you do for your mental health, is like change your vocabulary, how you talk, and don't let nobody talk negative around you. That kind of goes into your environment. So your environment can really affect your mental health. It's the people around you for sure. We kind of touched on that, but it's also your actual environment. It can affect your mood and your space. One of the worst things about growing up in the hood, you know, and I grew up in Southside Chicago, it feels hopeless. Like it actually feels hopeless. Motherfuckers getting shot and shit. I saw dead bodies on the way to school, cops and shit, and fucking gangbangers. And you can like feel it in the air. If you can get yourself in a different environment, it'll change the way you feel. And you can see this in yourself. If you ever like clean up your fucking room or your house, it feels better when you're in a clean place. You can actually like change your space, your location. It's one of the easiest ways to change your mood. You know, I wake up every day and I walk on the ocean front, and sometimes I see manatees and shit, dolphins. I'm like, oh shit, you know, that's a good way to start my day. You got to really curate your environment in a way where it affects your energy. For example, if you was to walk into my place, Nima, what's the first thing you see when you get out when you come out the private elevator and you get into my apartment? What's the very first thing you see?
A big ass money rug.
Big ass money rug. And there's a little like bench. What kind of pillows are on there?
Money pillows.
Money pillows. My girl got those, man. That was a good touch.
Two of them.
That was a good touch. That was a good touch.
Yeah.
In the penthouse, what do you see?
Another money
rug. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to influence my mental state. I want to be thinking about getting this fucking paper. Go to my office, there's more money rugs, money art everywhere. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. I know that sounds like some hippie shit. Right now, think about, you know, one of your family members who died, or one of your dead homies. Start thinking about it, man, how much you miss them and shit. You'll start feeling that right now. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. So I focus on getting this money. I'm more motivated. I'm more excited to go acquire some more capital. Now, check this out. If you got the discipline and energy, what does that give you? Speed. You get what I'm saying? And if you got the goals and the energy, you got focus, you got speed, and now you got momentum. You got to think about the opposite. Imagine somebody they had goals, they had energy, but they didn't have no discipline. Well, that's like a motherfucker who looked like he should have been on Jersey Shore, but he wasn't. You know, he's talking a big game. He seems like he's all coked up, but he's like not focused. You ever meet that guy? He's got all the goals in the world. He's always telling you what he's going to do, but he's not accomplishing nothing. You don't want to be that guy. And then you imagine somebody who, let's say you did have discipline and you had goals, but no energy. No, that's not going to work either. You know what I'm saying? Or imagine like a Lamborghini with the GPS, but no gas. You're going to go nowhere fast. And imagine you had energy, discipline, but no goals. Well, then it's like a Lamborghini with no fucking GPS, nowhere to go, right? Just in the garage. It's just potential, but it's not going nowhere, right? You need all three of those to be successful, right? And that's why we call this the Champion Trifecta. If you can implement these steps in your life, I promise you'll be successful.